Hola, hello everybody. So today in Mexico is El Día del Niño, so it's Children's Day, and growing up everybody celebrated El Día del Niño. In school we didn't really have classes, we had a lot of activities outside, and sometimes we got our favorite meals cooked at home, so I decided to make something that is kind of child friendly. So I'm going to make something called Enfrijoladas, which is very similar to an enchilada. Everybody's familiar with red enchiladas and green enchiladas. These are enchiladas, but instead of dipped in a chile sauce, they're dipped and rolled in a bean creamy sauce. So this is what you're going to need. So for the bean sauce, you need any kind of beans. They can be in a can or they can be homemade. And I'm going to use half of the can, and I'm going to leave the other half in the can just in case I need some later, or because I'm having another demo for some of my friends at the gym today. Okay, we're also going to need what's called chipotle peppers, okay? They might be a little bit scary, some of you may not know what they are, but they are just jalapenos that have been dried, smoked, and then cooked in an adobo sauce. So they're kind of like a Mexican barbecue sauce. They're smoky, they're a little vinegary, they're a little sweet. My mouth is watering, but they can be spicy. Not always, but sometimes they are, and there's several brands out there. It's not a commercial. So what I usually do is I take them out of the can, I add a little water, I swish them around, and I blend them until you get a nice puree consistency, okay? So this is what I usually have at the house, laying around, because it is a staple in my home. Once you try them and decide if you like them, they may become one of your staples as well. When you first open the can of chipotle peppers, I don't cook using amounts. It's very difficult for me to give you guys amounts, but I'm going to try. So I was going to say to add 1 chipotle pepper to your bean mix. However, when I open this can, look at the size of this chipotle pepper. It's huge, okay? And then in that same can, they had some smaller ones. This is usually the size of them, okay? It's the size of a spoon. So again, that is why I make them into a puree, so that you can calculate how much you're going to use on the sauce, okay? So you're also going to need some roasted garlic, 2 or 3 cloves depending on the size. You're going to need a little bit of onion, and you might need a little bit of chicken broth or dissolved chicken bouillon in water to help you blend it so it's nice and thin and not too thick like refried beans. It's the same thing as refried beans, but a little runnier, a little watery, okay? Another thing that you need to use is going to be Mexican cream. And the only reason why I prefer Mexican cream over regular sour cream, it's because it's a little more watery, and you can pour it into a container so that you can, pour it to decorate at the end. See, it's a little bit runnier than regular sour cream, okay? I'm gonna leave a little bit of the cream here because I'm going to need it for my blended mixture. I'm gonna go show you what we're gonna do with the blender. Okay, so I might wanna start adding just a little bit of that water or chicken broth into your blender so it runs and it doesn't get stuck in there. I'm going to add my beans into the blender, and I'm going to add the smaller chipotle. I'm going to add one of the already roasted garlic. You could crush it if you prefer. I'm gonna do 2. I'm saving 1 for later just in case I need to add more flavor. I'm going to add just a little bit of onion. Maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to add the leftover of that cream that I had in that bottle just to help with the blending process. Okay. Yeah. So once you have put all the ingredients in the blender, you're going to blend it until you achieve a nice smooth consistency, similar to the one that you would achieve as in a red chile sauce for red enchiladas. Okay, so I have finished blending the bean mixture to make that sauce in which we're going to make our enfrijoladas. So notice how it's nice and smooth and super creamy. I added an extra clove of garlic and one more extra chipotle just because we like it spicy here at the house. But in your house, once you do that original first blending round, taste it, you might want to add a little bit more cream, maybe more onion, and maybe more beans in case it was too spicy for you. Follow me to the stove. I'm going to show you how to heat the tortillas so they don't break. If you take them straight out of the package and you try to fold them or roll them, they will break and you don't want to do that. So what you need to do is each tortilla, you're going to spray it on both sides with your favorite cooking spray. So each one of the tortillas has to be sprayed on both sides and then put on a pan, and you can start heating them up. So when they start heating up, you're gonna flip them and then rotate it. Now the bottom one is getting the heat. You're gonna cook that one and you're gonna flip them and then you're gonna rotate that one. And then you're gonna take the one from the middle part, from the center, you take it out, and then that one is going to go on the bottom. So that way you will heat every tortilla on both sides while the heat is transferring from the pan to the tortillas and from one tortilla to the other. After you're done heating up your tortillas, you can fill them up and roll them up to serve your enchiladas, which is what I'm going to show you coming up next. Okay, so now we're going to proceed to do the enchiladas. So now we have our heated up tortillas so they won't break, they're still nice and warm. And we're going to use our bean sauce that we already made, and we're going to use some chicken. I like it shredded, and I only shredded it a little bit because I'm only doing 1 or 2 for the demo, but I'm saving this for later on. You can get your chicken at the deli in your local supermarket, or you can have leftover chicken from another night, and it's a very good way to make a little bit of chicken render and spread out. We are also going to need some chopped up onion, whether you like it mixed in with your chicken or spread on the top. My mom used to love onions, and I have friends in Mexico that love extra onions. I do as well. So you can do either. You can have them on the inside and on the outside. And you're also going to need some cotija cheese. It's spelled C-O-T-I-J-A, but it's just salty, and it's a very typical cheese that does not melt. It's just used to sprinkle on top as a garnish, and it's salty, but it doesn't melt. So if you want melted cheese, you might want to use something else. And then our cream that I poured into my little Savvy Pour container over here. So this is how you're going to do it. You're going to grab your heated tortillas and you're going to dip them. And that's what enchilada means, okay? It means dipped in a chile sauce. These are enfrijoladas, which means dipped in a bean sauce, okay? So you're gonna dip them, you're gonna fold them, turn them around, put them on your plate, and then you're gonna grab your other one. I'm only gonna make 2 because we're about to have dinner. You're gonna make 2, and then usually you do these like you would do pancakes. You do them ahead of time, you have them ready, and you serve them room temperature. You don't put them back in the oven to melt the cheese. You eat them just as you go. You make 1 or 2 and you hand them to the kids, and that's how they go, okay? So you grab your shredded chicken. And like I said, I like to use a little bit of onions. And then you roll them up. And this is how we did them in our house. We did them on top of each other, so we didn't lose any of that sauce, okay? Your fingers can stay dipped in the sauce, it doesn't matter, but because I'm filming, I'm trying to wipe my hands, okay? So then we grab a little more chicken, or you can do them just with cheese and onions, or just onions if you run out of chicken, okay? You can put a little bit of the cheese on the inside. You can do a little bit more onions, and you roll them up until you have the amount. But see how nicely they roll and they don't break, okay? And next I'm going to show you how to plate them. We are now going to plate them. And if you're just feeding your family, you don't have to do this, but because I'm making it nice and pretty for you guys, I'm going to do the following. You just put them on your plate. And again, you can do 1, you can do 2, you can do 3, you can do 4. You can grab more of your warm bean salad, which you should have right on the stove. The other reason why you want it to be nice and runny and not super thick is so that it doesn't dry up when you keep it on the stove so that it stays nice and warm or hot, okay? And then you're going to sprinkle some of those onions in there, as much as you like or as little as you like. You're going to sprinkle some of that cotija cheese, but remember you can substitute it with feta cheese. Feta cheese, just break up the crumbles so that they're not too big and chunky. Make sure that they're nice and little crumbles. And then you're going to drizzle a little bit of that crema on top. And they're going to be ready to eat. Look how pretty they look. Okay, let's see how they came out. They're really good. I could add a little more chipotle in there, but you have to please the majority. I am glad I got to share this dish with you guys today. Enfrijoladas, I hope they become one of your staples at home and that your children ask to have them again. I hope they were not too weird, too crazy, or too spicy. If you like this recipe and the video, please hit like, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again.